Hello YouTube, this is Biomed Mike. I will be demonstrating doing a PM, preventive maintenance on the Valleylab Force Triad. We gotta first begin by connecting the bipolar and polar cables. If you look here on the back, we have the two cables. They're labeled, so you should be able to see where they go, the bipolar and the monopolar. So they're both labeled in there. I already have them screwed in there and fastened nice and tight. Now, where they going is, as I will show you in a moment, they go to these foot pedals. I have a bipolar foot pedal, and I have a monopolar cut and coax pedals. Why am I keeping them on top of the machine instead of the floor? Well, I'm not operating nobody, and also for safety measures, go ahead and connect the cables. I don't want to have the pedal on the floor, because if I'm working on these cables by accident, if I step on it or somebody else does, then it could cause injury. Now, please here on the bipolar cables, please ensure that there's a little button in there, if you look really close, that if you press, it's black, so you probably won't be able to see on the video, but make sure that when you insert this connector on both sides, then they're actually pressing that little button, okay? Let's switch the machine on, and what we gotta do is we gotta set it up. We also have here our electrosurgical analyzer, and this is the machine. We got to switch it on as well. We got to go into manual F1 and F1 output, and we'll be programming that in a moment. But for now, let's go back to the Force Triad. Now, here on the right side, you got to see an option there for you to see the little wrench. You press on the little wrench, and that opens this menu, and we got to enter demo. Now, we are in demo mode. We have our cable set up already. Right now, it's set up to do a bipolar test. So we got to be using this foot peg. So we got to go ahead and set it over here, and we got to set this puppy up. Now, for the bipolar, we got to set it up to 100 ohms. So we got to do F3 and F4 to load up and load down. So F3, we got to set it. I had it at 500 when the machine started. I'm setting it up to 100 ohms. And here on the on the machine itself, on the bipolar, we got to set it up all the way up to the max, which is 95, and they'll give you that sound, that particular sound when it reaches. You same for the coag, in case when they go, oh, what was the number I put in there? It's in 95, 120, and what's the other one, 300? But it'll tell you when it reaches the maximum. It'll give you that little sound that you have reached the max. Listen, that's it. Okay, so it's ready to go. Now all we got to do is we got this other machine set. We got to press the foot pedal, and we got to go plus or minus 95, okay, 20%, plus or minus 95, but it's got to be plus or minus 20% on 95. We're at, what is it, 92.2, so that passes there on the bipolar. So now we got to switch the cables. Let's remove this one here, and let's get the other ones that fell to the ground, and let's go ahead and set them up. And we got to set up the loads first for cut. We had it at 300 in the machine, so here it's got to be for cut also 300 ohms max. Oops, 300. So now on this one, we're going to be using this foot peg, heavy, and let's go ahead and press it hard. So we look in there plus or minus 20% on the cut, so plus or minus 300 watts. So we had 280, so that passes. Now we gotta set it up for a coag test. That's gonna set up to 500 ohms. It's at 300 now, so we have 500. Now remember, the coag was maximum of 120. So, oops. Let me go back to standard mono. Coag was 120. So in here, it has to be plus or minus 120. We got it all set up, and we're pressing coag now. So about 106, 107, so that's a pass also. So again, to review, make sure that you have your cut 300, coag to 120, bipolar to 95. Know your cables. Remember about the buttons there. Always keep these foot pegs on elevated so you won't press on them, have an accident. And on this electrosurgical analyzer, make sure that you set up for, I repeat, for the coag 500 ohms with a maximum has to be here on the output. You got to get a maximum of no more than plus or minus 120. And then on the cut, you got to set it up for 300 ohms, and the output here should be plus or minus around 300. And then you have the last one, which is the bipolar, which was the other cables, the yellow and the red. Okay, and those will be set up here at a maximum of 100 ohms, and with a output of plus or minus 20% on 95. Okay, so remember those numbers, and pretty much concludes the demonstration. This is Valleylab. Thank you for your time.